Hey guys, Kenny here, Kenny Wright. I hope you are having a wonderful week. Um, I was thinking this morning about how many people undereat or underreport with their food diary. I mean, obviously, if you're keeping a food diary, so if you're keeping a food diary, why are you keeping a food diary? You're keeping a food diary to log the food, to give you an idea of the type of calories you're consuming, what the calories are made up with. Maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to build some muscle, but you're logging your food for some type of reason. Maybe you're using an app like MyFitnessPal or something like that. Maybe you write it down and you calculate it by hand. And so I used to do it, before MyFitnessPal was around. But with something like MyFitnessPal, it's a great app to help you log your food and your calories, to see the type of food that you're eating, and to keep a track of the type of calories that you're consuming on a day-to-day basis. But understand, MyFitnessPal is only as good as the information that you put into it. So, if you're, let's say you're having a lamb casserole, unless you're kind of putting every single ingredient into it and you're weighing it out, the portion, it's only going to kind of give you a rough kind of guesstimation of a lamb casserole. Obviously, if it's a pre-bought lamb casserole, not that I'm saying that you should buy your lamb casserole pre-bought, you've probably got a barcode scanner that you can scan in, and then it can tell you, and then you can work it out portion size that way. But let's say, for instance, you're not having a lamb casserole, you're having a banana Vi shake. So a banana Vi shake, and let's say, for instance, you're having 75 grams of banana. So you're having 75 grams of frozen banana, and you're having your scoops of Vi. Should be fairly simple, to actually kind of put in 75 grams of banana. But what does 75 grams of banana look like? Is it a big banana? Is it a small banana? I mean, I roughly know what 75 grams of banana looks like, but, it's surprising just how we can underestimate things. So I would say weigh your food. So have a kitchen scales, digital kitchen scales that you weigh your food, pop it in your blender. So whenever I make my shake is made with 40 grams of oats. So I put my blender cup on the scales. I weigh in 40 grams of oats. Then I put 45 grams of Vi shake in. So I weigh out 45 grams of Vi shake, and it's to the gram. So I know that's exactly what's in there. Then if I'm adding some banana or something else, then I will weigh the banana out and put it in. And something like MyFitnessPal will allow you to work it out by the gram or the cup or whatever the measurement is. Then you're actually kind of quite specific of the kind of calories that you're consuming. Don't take things for granted. I mean, just the other week, I was weighing up my potatoes and I was working out how many grams of carbs I was eating. And my wife changed the potatoes we were using. And I just took it for granted, that, hey, potatoes, roughly around the same. Until I decided to scan in the barcode of these particular potatoes, and I found that the actual carbohydrate content was much higher, like about 5 or 6 grams higher per 100 grams. Well, I was having 600 grams, so that was coming up with an extra couple of hundred calories, or 100 and some calories, on top of what I was eating. Well, over the week, if you were doing that 7 days, I think it was working out an extra 1,000 calories or whatever it was. And it could be that was the difference between me being in a deficit or a surplus, So don't take it for granted. Have a look at what you're eating. Usually if you're buying potatoes, bananas or whatever it is, there's a barcode scanner so you can scan the barcode so you can see the type of potato or banana or whatever it is. Now, I hear people say, yeah, but Kenny, I don't really want to be weighing my foods. Well, okay, if you don't want to weigh your foods, then you're not going to get the result you necessarily might be looking for. You know, if you think about it, how many times you never look at a clock? How many times you never ever look at a time, your watch, your phone, you know, whatever it is, and you just turn up at work willy-nilly? Chances are never, unless you work for yourself. But if you're working for somebody else, chances are you look at your clock, you set your day, you look at your watch, you know what time the bus or the train or how long it's going to take you to get to work, and you work all this out. And you get to work on time, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, and it's all around time, and you're prepared to do all that. But when we actually say, and this is what I say to people, and I usually say this to people, okay, you've done this, you know, you've come to see me, you're talking, you're sitting here, blah, 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 you've probably looked at where I live, you've researched my address, you know how long it's going to take to get there, you planned your day, then I hit them with this: how many calories are you on? Not one person can say to me, I'm having 1,750 calories a day. Usually, never, you know? And it just goes to show me that the most important thing that we have, which is ourselves, our health, our life, our health, we don't take as seriously as we would anything else. You know, so if you're looking to lose weight, or if you're looking to build muscle, then understand, you know, that the type of calories and the amount of calories that you're consuming are really, really important. And if you're not prepared to kind of weigh those foods out, and if it takes an extra 1 minute, let's say it takes 1 minute to weigh it from the scales, to put it in the pan or put it in your blender or whatever, and you can't be bothered to do that 1 minute, what does it say to you? Well, I know what it says to me, that you can't be bothered, you know, so it's not that important to you. And if it is that important to you, then you do it. You know, if it's not that important to you, then you wouldn't do it, but don't expect the results for someone who is doing it, you know? So it really kind of comes down to how much you want something. You know, how much you want something is how much you're prepared to put into something. How much you want something is how much you're prepared to put into something and stick with that. So this is the next part of this, is sticking to a calorie. No one can tell you this is exactly how many calories you need to eat. No one can tell you that straight off the bat. You know, it's a guess. No coach, no PT, nothing, no book, nothing. It's a guess. We're all different, you know. So let's say, for instance, you know, I was working with you, and we looked at the kind of activity levels you were doing. You know, we looked at what you were weighing, and we had a rough idea that, let's say, for instance, you should be on 1,500 calories a day, as a rough example. 1,500 calories a day is probably half what I have a day. But 1,500 calories a day, you know, you could be thinking, okay, all right, 1,500 calories a day, I can do that. If you're not weighing your food, how do you know you're doing 1,500 calories? You know, how do you know you're not under eating or under reporting? Maybe you're having 1,800 calories. Maybe you're only having 1,300 calories. You know, and maybe your body needs 1,500 calories for it to kind of lose the weight that you want to lose, or build the muscle that you want to build, you know. But it's really, really important, however you kind of look at it, that baseline is kind of met, and that we don't kind of change the calories just because we're not getting the result we want straight away. You know, so let's say, you know, we're looking at 1,500 calories for an example, and you're weighing your foods, you're weighing all your foods, you're entering it into MyFitnessPal, and you know, yep, I'm on 1,500 calories, that's what I'm doing. Stick to it for a week. See what happens. Understand your body. Get to know your body. See how you feel. You know, how do you feel when in the morning? Have you got energy? Are you feeling, actually, you know what? By about 12 o'clock, I'm starting to feel tired. Maybe we need to look at the macros then that you're eating. Maybe your protein's way too high and your carbs are way too low, or your fat's way too low, or vice versa. You know, maybe there's the macros. But it's not really about macros, first of all. It's really about the calories. You've got to stick to those 1,500 calories. And I would say stick to those 1,500 calories for at least a week. So you're sticking to those 1,500 calories for at least a week, and then you can see what happens. Maybe you're going to find that your weight stays exactly the same. Awesome, fantastic. You know, it's no different. You're doing a test with yourself, and understand what we're looking to do isn't trying to diet. We're not trying to diet. What we're trying to do is change our lifestyle. So we're trying to live. We're trying to live a lifestyle. Maybe you need to change that mindset of I'm dieting, when really what we want to do is change our lifestyle. So let's say, we're on 1,500 calories for 1 week, and you find, actually, you know what? Now I'm starting to lose a bit of weight. Awesome. How much weight are you actually losing? How much weight are you actually losing? Is that sustainable? So are you losing half a pound a week? And if you're losing half a pound a week, fantastic. You lose half a pound a week, then we know that if we're happy losing half a pound a week on 1,500 calories, we can do that. Let's keep going. Awesome. Where a lot of people go wrong is they want to lose 4 or 5 pound a week. Well, 4 or 5 pound a week is, like 20,000 calorie deficit roughly. 15, 20,000 calorie deficit, which, you're on like 3,000 or 4,000 calorie deficit a day. It's crazy. You're not going to do that. It's ridiculous to try to think of losing 4 or 5 per pound every single week. It's just not going to happen, and it's not safe. Sooner or later, it's going to mess you up physically and mentally. Look at something more realistic, like 1 pound or 2 pound a week. Even I'd say 1 to 1.5 pound a week is a good weight that you can lose comfortably, and it gives you options, because options are really, really important. Options allow you to be sociable. Options allow you to go out, with your friends to a restaurant, family members, and eat pretty much most things on the menu, whereas if you're on a really low calorie diet, you've got no options, you can't be sociable, you've got no social life, and it's sooner or later you're just gonna stop. So remember, 1,500 calories is really kind of low, really, really, really low. So chances are maybe you'd be on 2,000 calories, depending on your activity level. You may be on 2,000 calories a day with doing some kind of activity, and you're still losing 1 pound a week or so. And you think, actually, this is kind of this is easy and happy for me to do. I'm enjoying this. And enjoy the process, but understand it starts with filling in your food diary, weighing your food to hit a weight, a constant calorie over a certain period of time. Maybe you find, after day 1 or 2, your weight goes up a little bit on those 1,500 calories, and you're thinking, oh dear, what's going on here? Well, don't worry about that. Stick to it. Chances are your weight might then plateau and then start coming down. Awesome. That's normal. Your metabolism changes around, water levels change and all that kind of stuff. So your weight's going to fluctuate, go up and down a little bit, But don't worry about it. Don't be thinking, God, it's gone up. I need to cut my calories, need to cut the calories. That's what the mindset is, cut. Well, guess what? All that cutting isn't sustainable, and mentally, long term, you're just doomed to fail. It's not going to happen. Look at long term. If I'm working with someone who's got a large amount of weight to lose, and I say to them, would you be happy losing 100 pound a year? And they're like, wow, absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. I said, well, it's 2 pound a week. 2 pound a week. If you've got a large amount of weight to lose, is doable. 2 pound a week, and wait, 2 pound a week. Oh, it's only 2 pound a week. Well, 2 pound a week over a year is 100 pound, which is awesome. Even if you lost 1 pound a week, there's still like 3 stone or so. So look at what the long-term goal. Look at how you can achieve what you're looking to achieve over a long-term goal as a lifestyle change. Looking at reporting what you're eating, weighing your foods, not under-reporting, not under-weighing, not guessing, and then you'll get the results you want. You're going to get the results you want, and that's pretty much the importance of a food diary, a food log, sticking with something, and finding out how you're feeling. And it could be, that your energy levels are low because your fats are too low or your carbs are too low. Maybe you're not drinking enough water. I always say to people, try to drink between 2 and 3 litres of water a day. I can't do that, but I drink like 20 cups of coffee and, So yeah, you can drink a couple of litres of water a day, but it takes a little bit of time and effort, but water is so important, So I would say, whatever you're doing, stick to what you're doing, look at what you're doing, understand what you're doing, understand why you want to do it. You know, appreciate why you're doing what you want to do and understand, okay, this is about me. It's a long-term kind of investment that I'm doing. You know, it's a lifestyle change that I really, really need to do for me, and I want my family and friends to support me. And then maybe you want to talk to them about, and explain why you're doing what you're doing. You know, and get as much support as you can. You know, fill in your diary, fill in your food diary, weigh your food. You know, get that right so you know exactly where you're going constantly. Don't change anything. Understand how you're feeling. Think, you know what? Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. I'm doing it. Takes a bit of time and effort, but it'll be definitely worth it. You know, most people look at MyFitnessPal or something like that and say, God, you know, this is hard. You know, after 1 week, they're thinking, this is easy. You know, so yeah, of course, it's different, it's difficult, but it might take a few minutes, but that's all it's going to take. You know, oh, I can't weigh my food. Well, how long does it take for you to put your food on a set of scales and then put them in the blender or put them in a saucepan? You know, when I weigh my potatoes, I put the saucepan on the scales, I put my potatoes in there, 600 grams or whatever it is, you know, but the saucepan goes on the scale, so it's not difficult. It really isn't difficult. It makes no effort whatsoever to weigh your food. It really doesn't. If you've got the mindset, I can't be bothered to do that, then you've got the mindset that you can't be bothered to change. You know, and that's what this is about. It really is about you wanting to change your life for a happy, healthier future. Anyway, if I can help in any way, reach out, Kenny Rye. You see me on Facebook, on my website, kennyrye.com. And I'm happy to help. You know, have a happy, healthy day.